In that corner is the Banco of Spain, is the Spanish state agency that acts as the national central bank. Since 1891, its main headquarters have been located at Calle Alcala 48 next to Plaza de Cibeles. It also has a metro stop that takes its name, Banco de España. The Cibeles fountain was designed by the architect Ventura Rodriguez within the project of the Prada Hall. Its execution corresponded to the sculptor Francisco Gutierrez Arribas, who was in charge of the figure of the goddesses in the chariot, and Roberto de Michel, author of the lions. The decorator Miguel Jimenez also collaborated in the work. There is an exact replica of the Cibeles fountain in Mexico City, located in one of the most emblematic neighborhoods of the city, the Colonia Roma, at the intersection of Osaka, Durango, Medellin, and El Oro streets. It was installed in Mexico as a symbol of brotherhood between the Spanish and Mexican communities in 1980. And was remodeled in 2011 as a part of maintenance and remodeling program of the government of the city. Currently, it is considered together with a square in which is located as an emblematic corner of the city. That striking building is the Communication Palace, was the last of the 4 buildings around the plaza that opened its doors. It can be considered as one of the best identifies the enclosure, as it is arranged curved over the southeast corner and favor the circle definition of the square. Likewise, its institutional air in its considerable maximum height, the central tower measures more than 60 meters, reinforce the sense of closure of the wide esplanade where Calle de Alcala and the Paseo de Recoletos and Prado converge. The palace, which occupies a total area of 12,207 square meters, was built on land originally integrated in the Parque del Buen Retiro. It began to be built in 1904, based on a project by the architects Antonio Palacios and Julian Otamendi and the engineer Angel Chueca Sainz. The building, conceived with criteria of rationality and functionality, mixes different influences and style. The monumentality of its volume emulates the American architectural guideline in force at the time in its volumetric composition denote a certain French touch. Regarding the decorative elements of the exterior, this refer to Spanish medieval architecture, also present in the treatment of stone. The Communication Palace housed until 2007 the General Postal, Telegraph, and Telephone services. From the aforementioned year and after different renovation works, it serves as the headquarters of the Madrid City Hall. Puerta de Alcala is one of the 5 old royal doors that gave access to the city of Madrid, Spain. It is located in the center of roundabout in the Plaza de la Independencia, at the intersection of the street of Alcala, Alfonso XII, Serrano, and Salustiano Olosaga, next to the doors of the Retiro. Puerta de España, Puerta de la Independencia, main entrance to the Retiro Gardens, and Puerta de Hernani. The door gave access to those travelers who formerly entered the population from France or Aragon. Today, it is a monumental door that is located next to the Cibeles Fountain and the Retiro Park. It was built at the command of Carlos III to replace another previous door that had existed since the 16th century. The design and work belongs to the Italian architect Francisco Sabastini. Other projects by Spanish architects competed with Sabastini, Ventura Rodriguez and Jose de Hermosilla being finally personally chosen by the King Sabastini's design. It is a door of neoclassical style and monumental appearance similar to the Roman Arches of Triumph. It was erected facing its exterior to the east in the year 1778. The door has been subsequently restored 5 times in more than 2 centuries of existence. Being the last at the end of the 20th century, the originality of its factory consists in being the first triumphal arch built in Europe after the fall of the Roman Empire, being a precursor to others such as the Arc de Triomphe in Paris and the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. Since its inception, it has undergone various urban transformations and its surroundings, going from being the outer border of Madrid to a tourist center of obligatory passage that appears inserted almost in the middle of the same city. This change has been due to the widening of the 19th century. Throughout the Serrano Nebor and the extension of Calle de Alcala. Finally, since 1976, it has been considered by the Spanish state as a historical artistic monument, extending its category to the Plaza de la Independencia. Since the end of the 18th century, the door from its final location acquired relevance in the town of Madrid, and by the end of the 19th century, it was already one of its most characteristic icons that appears in numerous illustrations of the city, being one of the most representative monuments. In its double condition of looking towards the interior of the city and exterior, the Puerta de Alcala has served as a support for all kinds of political and artistic manifestations. In its vicinity, there have been numerous historical events. The door of Felipe IV or Mariana de Neoborgo of the Jardines de Buen Retiro in Madrid, Spain, constitutes the entrance to them through Calle Alfonso XII and is located in front of Casón del Buen Retiro. Welcome to the Retiro Park or Buen Retiro Park, popularly known as the Retiro. It's a historical garden and public park located in Madrid, Spain, considered as one of the main tourist attractions in the city. It houses numerous architectural, sculptural, and landscape ensembles from the 17th to 21st century, among which are the monument to Alfonso XII, the Crystal Palace, the Big Pond, the Partre Tree, the Puerta de Felipe IV, the Royal Astronomical Observatory and the source of Arctic chalk, in even earlier ones such as the heritage of San Pelayo and San Isidoro of Romanesque origin. It was built in the first half of the 17th century with the landscape project developed for the Buen Retiro Palace, an old royal position created by the Count Duque of Olivares from 1587 to 1645 for the enjoyment of Felipe IV from 1605 to 1665, of whom was his ballad. Its use as an urban park dates back to 1767, the year in which Carlos III, 1716 to 1788, allowed the public to enter for recreational purposes, and definitely from 1868, when it became the property of the Madrid City Council. Due to the damage caused by the War of Independence from 1808 to 1813, its current appearance is the result of interventions carried out in the 19th and 20th centuries. All the original lines and elements of the 17th and 18th centuries still survive. With an area of 118 hectares or 1,180 square meters in a perimeter of 4.5 kilometers, it belongs administratively to the Retiro district, named after the park. It is delimited to the north by the streets of Alcala and O'Donnell, to the south by that of the poet Esteban Villegas, to the west by Alfonso Doce, and to the east by Menendez Pelayo Avenue. It is protected as the property of the cultural interest, a legal figure that every declaration of historical garden holds in Spanish regulation. Within its limits, there are more than 19,000 trees, representative of 167 species, 4 of which are 6 specimens included in the list of the unique trees in the community of Madrid. The Retiro Park has been protected since 1935, the year in which the Ministry of Public Instruction and Fine Arts of the Second Republic proceeded to declare its historic garden by the order of February 8. This protection is ratified by the law of 16/1985 of June 25 on the Spanish historical heritage, which establishes that all historic gardens are assets of the cultural interest, and by the law of 3/2013 of June 18 of the historical heritage of Community of Madrid. In addition to its BIC status, the retreat is located within the archaeological zone of the Madrid Historic Site, Decree 61 last 1993 of the May 20 of the Community of Madrid, which guaranteed archaeological and paleontological control against possible works in excavation. For its part, the regulation of the General Urban Planning Plan of the Madrid City Council from 1997 classified it as historical park together with the Casa de Campo, the Parque del Oeste, the Quinta de la Puente del Berro, the Parque del El Capricho, the Quinta de los Molenos, the Quinta de Vista Alegre, the Campo del Moro, and the Royal Botanical Garden. On January 27, 2015, the Retiro and Prado sites in Madrid were inscribed on the indicative list of Spain to the World Heritage in the category of cultural property within the reference number 5977.14. Madrid Rio is a park in the Spanish city of Madrid, consisting of a pedestrian and recreational area built between 2006 and 2012 on the two banks of the Manzanares River, largely on the underground route of M30 Ring Road, from the south node to the link within the A5. In 2016, the project won the Veronica Roge Green Prize in Urban Design from the Harvard University for its design and social and cultural impact in transforming the river.